Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and in today's video I have for you my Game Week 3 transfer plans. Now before we jump into the video, if you have a second or two on your hands, could I please trouble you to scroll down a little bit and hit the subscribe button, because we are only 20 subscribers away from 8,000 subscribers, so that would be a massive milestone for the channel and it would make me really happy. So if you have a second or two, just scroll down, it's completely free, and hit the subscribe button. You can always change your mind after that as well. Right, so enough plugging, let's get on with the video. So we'll go through how I did in game week 2. Spoiler alert, it is a really good game week for me. That's why you see the big smile on my face. I'm not gonna cap, I did really well. But I think moving forward, there are things to do with my team. There are areas I will need to address. But I've had a really good start and I'm very pleased with it. So we'll quickly talk about how I did for game week 2. And then go into my team for Game Week 3, which is more of what you guys are interested in. So for Game Week 2, very quickly, my old rank was 1.7 million, and I've risen all the way up to 37k in the world. So this is one of the best starts I've had in all my time of playing FPL. So it's a really good position to be in. Hopefully I'll be able to build on it. If you are keen to follow the journey, please do subscribe as well to help us reach 8,000 subscribers. I'm currently sitting on 98 points. Now I am recording this as the Liverpool versus Brentford game is going on. I'm recording this at half time. That's why you see that Jota here has 4 points, because he has just recorded an assist for a Luis Diaz goal. So 98 points, I'm really pleased with that. And obviously the big call here was to activate the triple captain on Erling Haaland, who got a hat-trick. So there were a lot of pros, as I discussed on the deadline stream as well, why I wanted to use it. And I completely understand that it was very close. Like, even for myself as well, I was not 100% until the deadline. So it was a close call. For those of you who did not triple captain Haaland, not to worry at all. There will be many opportunities further down the line, whether it's doubles, whether it is single game week fixtures like Southampton at home or Leicester at home for Haaland, and even Salah could also be a single game week or double game week captain. So there will be opportunities down the line, so don't feel disheartened. But I'm really pleased with 51 points, because 17 points outscored my previous triple captain last season, where I also triple captain Haaland, but this time in a double game week, and he only got 1 return. So to get 3 returns here, I'm very happy. Let me know down in the comments below if you are one of those who also activated the triple captainship on Erling Haaland this week. So as for the rest of my squad, they also pulled in a lot of points. So I guess this week overall, I would say that I got quite fortunate with some of the players returning and also some players blanking. Like when you want to try and get a good rank in FPL, not only do your players need to perform, but you also have to have your other assets or highly owned assets, like maybe Bruno Fernandes or Eze, who has been blanking, and they have put up extremely good numbers of XG and XA as well. So if you are a Bruno owner or an Eze owner, you guys have been massively unlucky, but I do advise that you continue to hold on to those assets, because they will deliver soon enough. But for the players that I've had, I'm fortunate enough for them to be returning. So let me talk about the defense first in Porro and Robinson. I won't speak about Trent, but Porro and Robinson. Porro came away with a clean sheet against Everton. The big call in game week 1 when I was building my team was whether I should go for Gabriel or Porro in this position. I went for Porro because I felt like Porro could cover Gabriel over game weeks 1 and 2, and fortunately that has been the case. He got a goal in game week 1 despite not keeping a clean sheet, and then in game week 2 he did keep a clean sheet against Everton. So the gamble has kind of paid off here, going for Porro to cover Gabriel. But now he has Newcastle in game week 3, so I guess it's something to think about, because my bench options for game week 3 are not magnificent, because Dunk has Arsenal and Johnson is from Ipswich, has Fulham, so not great as well. So yeah, Porro is someone I may have to address. Not an urgent transfer for sure. But yeah, just not a great fixture for him in game week 3. For Robinson, he managed to get an assist, so this one was lucky as well. We talked about how he would bomb down the line and, put crosses in, but this time the assist came from a pass that, he was further back, much further back, and it was kind of a through ball kind of a situation to Iwobi, and Iwobi dribbled all the way and scored. So that was quite a fortunate assist. And he did not keep a clean sheet as well, but he did pick up a couple of bonus. So 6 points for him, very happy with that. Jota got an assist for the Luis Diaz goal, as I've mentioned. Smith Rowe and Gordon. So to talk about Gordon first, because I have just come from watching the Newcastle game on TV as well. and Gordon did not really feel like he was very involved. But somehow at the last few minutes, I think it was the 85th minute if I'm not wrong, Gordon managed to pick up a goal from a Harvey Barnes assist. So it's honestly, that was kind of his, I would say, one of his few involvements in the game. So for him to get a return there and pick up maximum bonus, I think I got really lucky there. And for Smith Rowe as well, he got subbed in the 62nd minute, but he picked up a goal. That one came in the first half, and he did look really, really sharp. So I'm happy to still have Smith Rowe, and both of them mopped up quite a bit of bonus points. So they were kind of the big reasons why I got such a big green arrow. And then for Saka, he got an assist as well. Nkunku is the main problem area here, and I will speak about him in the next section where we talk about my Game Week 3 team. Then up front, Haaland triple captain as I've mentioned, and then Isak with 2 points. He blanked unfortunately. So João Pedro on my bench. Before we jump into the Game Week 3 team, João Pedro on my bench, I guess I could have started him ahead of Nkunku like some of you guys recommended, but I never knew that Nkunku would be benched, and he's someone that I definitely need to take out in Game Week 3. But to have João Pedro have 8 points on the bench does not feel good, but at the end of the day, I cannot get everything right, so I'm okay to have those bench points here, and happy to have João Pedro for the next few game weeks, and 4 and 5 when he does have Ipswich and Nottingham Forest. So I'm going to keep João Pedro for now. But yeah, this was how I did for Game Week 2. I am pretty sure that I will not be able to maintain getting these kind of returns week in, week out, but at least maintaining somewhere near the average and just trying to finish somewhere around this region at the end of the season. We are still early days now, so anything can happen in the season. It's only Game Week 2, but we are in a good position, so hopefully we can build on this. So for Game Week 3, this is how it stands with my team at the moment. I have 2 free transfers and I have no money left in the bank. It is currently still going to be a 3-5-2 formation as it stands because I have João Pedro and Dunk who both have Arsenal, so it kind of makes sense for me to just drop them both to the bench. Johnson is the 4.0 million bench fodder on my team. And yeah, so I'm basically starting the rest of my players here. And in terms of assessing each of their fixtures, Henderson, Chelsea away, not a great fixture. I'm not very convinced of the Crystal Palace defense at the moment. And I think if I do have a spare transfer coming up soon, like basically if I reach a stage where I'm okay to make a keeper transfer, I don't mind taking Henderson out for someone else. It just seems as if the Crystal Palace defense is crumbling quite a bit, so I'm losing a bit of confidence in the Crystal Palace team, but not this week. I would probably just hold on to him for now, but not expecting a clean sheet at all. In defense is Trent, Porro, and Robinson. So as I mentioned for Porro, the Newcastle away fixture is not great, but looking that I have areas in my team such as Nkunku in midfield that I need to address, I think that is more urgent. So I might just go ahead and just play Porro in Game Week 3 against Newcastle away. Hopefully he gets a bit of attacking returns. I don't think it'd be easy to keep a clean sheet at St. James's Park, but attacking returns for Porro with how kind of advanced he is, I hope he can kind of get some returns there. For Trent as well, Manchester United away. Manchester United don't look very strong, but Liverpool and Manchester United is always a tough fixture for both teams, so we'll see what happens there, but never benching Trent in any game week. In midfield is Jota, Smith Rowe, Gordon, Saka, and Nkunku. It's Nkunku here against Crystal Palace, and this is the one that I think I need to address. So in the next section, I'm going to speak about 3 replacements that I have, or my top 3 replacements for Nkunku, and I'll speak also about which one I'm most likely to go for. But keeping that for the later part, up front it's Isak and Haaland. Haaland has the captain's armband for now against West Ham away. Isak has Spurs at home. So doubling up on the Newcastle attack, given how they played against Bournemouth today, not great. And I think I'm coming around also to the idea that away from home, Newcastle are just such a different team as compared to the way that they play at St. James's Park. And the fact that, they could draw 1-1 to Bournemouth despite the preseason that they've had, I think maybe I won't go so long with the double Newcastle attack. And Isak to Watkins could be a move I line up when Watkins becomes an option. But for now, I'm just happy to play both of them at St. James's Park. Spurs and Newcastle, generally a high-scoring game. So after that, I can consider moving them on. And yeah, so there we go for Game Week 3. This is the team and how it stands. I'm likely going to use 1 free transfer, and that would be on Nkunku. So let's now take a look at some Nkunku replacements that I'm looking at. So for those of you who caught the Chelsea game, basically Nkunku did not start. We all expected him to start after some quotes from Maresca saying that, Neto wasn't going to start. So a lot of us thought, okay, that kind of meant that Nkunku was going to play. But he only came on at the 82nd minute. So basically he did not start. And I think from now on, our thoughts on Nkunku would kind of shift to someone that is not a guaranteed starter that we imagine he would be. So now there's a cause for concern and it's time to move him on. So I'm considering a couple of replacements, and the first two that I want to talk about here is Morgan Rogers and Leon Bailey. Now I think Leon Bailey maybe not as popular as Morgan Rogers, but I felt like maybe I should do a comparison of both of them because they are both from the team that I kind of want to target from game week 3 onwards, which is Aston Villa, because their fixtures are just so good. The next few fixtures are all green for them, and I know the official FPL fixture ticker is not something to rely on, but it's also green on all the fantasy football hub kind of fixture tickers as well. So I think Aston Villa is definitely a team we need to target, and I don't have Rodgers at this point. Some of you guys already have him, 9.2% of you guys have him, and he is so cheap to reach. He is 5 million, so I'll speak about him first. And for Rodgers, by going for him, I basically am downgrading Nkunku and I will have 1.5 million in the bank. So as you guys saw in the previous section, I don't have any money whatsoever in the bank. So it's quite rigid, my squad structure. So I think at this point, by downgrading to Rodgers, I'm able to free up 1.5 million to spend elsewhere. If in future I want to do Isak to Watkins, I will have money to do that. So that is one of the reasons why I'm keen to do it, but also that his stats are really good and his performances have been very impressive. If you watch the Arsenal versus Aston Villa game, he was one of the standout performers for Aston Villa. He was driving, so hard through the middle, getting past players like Thomas Partey, and Declan Rice, players who are not easy to get past, and pulling off, a good number of big chances for Watkins as well. Like you would remember, he assisted or kind of gave a really good ball to Watkins, who just missed a big sitter in the first half as well. Watkins also missed a sitter in the second half, but I don't think that was from a Morgan Rogers shot. But basically, I think that for Morgan Rogers, at the price point that he's at, 5 million, guaranteed to play for Aston Villa, and the minutes that he's got for both game week 1 and game week 2 are so good, 90 minutes in both games, and also Unai Emery singing praises about him. I'm quite impressed with him so far, and with all these factors that I just mentioned, I think Morgan Rogers is the most likely that I would go for. But I think when I look at Leon Bailey as well, he also has put up quite decent numbers. I look at the stats that he's gone for here, 4 shots and 1 on target, so really not far off from Morgan Rogers. The XG that he's put up is 0.25, slightly lower than Rogers, and XA as well is 0.23. But I think the main thing for me is that Leon Bailey operates on the wing, so on the right wing, and Morgan Rogers is playing more centrally. Like even when they are not with the ball in possession, like Morgan Rogers is pressing kind of in the same line as Ollie Watkins, and Leon Bailey is still kind of pressing in the shape where he is on the right wing. So if, for example, they kind of counter attack, I think Rogers is in a more central position, closer to the goal, and he's the one that's more likely to get goals. But regardless, I think Leon Bailey is still a very, very good player, and flair-wise, we just know he has the quality. Last season, he put up double-digit in terms of goals and assists as well. So we know the quality that Leon Bailey possesses, but personally I'm leaning towards Rogers for now just because of the price point and what it will enable me to do further down the line in terms of transfers. So the other option that I'm actually thinking about, maybe not so much, but he is still on my radar, is Savio, or Savinho as some of you guys call him. So he's from Man City, of course, 6.5 million. So he's someone I can reach in one transfer from Nkunku straight to Savinho. But basically, we've seen what he did against Ipswich. I think I haven't seen a player come into a squad and look so comfortable. There were comments on Twitter, some people saying he's the combination of Raheem Sterling and Mahrez, like the pace of Raheem Sterling and the technical flair of Mahrez. I do get why there would be comparisons there, but I actually still feel like Mahrez is the better player. But that aside, like for Savinho, I really do think like he looks very comfortable on the right wing. You see the heat map here above me, that's kind of where he operates. So my main concern with him here, okay, obviously he picked up 2 assists as well in game week 2, that's why he's on my radar. But minutes-wise, he started both games. And also in terms of the competition that he's had at the right wing spot, there were kind of conversations that, pre-season that Oscar Bob and Savinho would be kind of sharing that one spot and competing for that position. But I think now that has kind of changed. With Gundogan coming into midfield, I mean, it's great that Gundogan is back from Manchester City. I think there will be a better squad as well. But does that mean that Phil Foden can no longer occupy that kind of central positions? And that is why if Phil Foden plays, and Phil Foden is a quality player, I don't see him sitting out much once he's back to full fitness. Could he be the one occupying the right wing? Because on the left, there's Doku, there's Jack Grealish as well. For sure, Foden could play there. But on the right wing, I think the options are more short. And Foden is capable of playing on the right wing as well. Same for players like Bernardo Silva as well. He could also play on the right. But I think it looks to me like Foden and Savinho would be the ones competing for the right wing spot. Correct me if I'm wrong, Man City fans, in the comments down below. But because of that, I think Savinho's minutes are definitely not as guaranteed. But for the time being, with how good he looks, I actually think for the next few, he will continue to start. And so it comes down to the wildcard window that I'm looking at. Like for myself, I am currently on a game week 6 wildcard window. So do I think that he will start against West Ham, Brentford, and Arsenal, and then come Newcastle? I sell him, or even before Arsenal as well. Like the horizon for Savinho, if I'm to go for him, would be very, very short. And I do think he starts at least the next two, like West Ham away and Brentford at home, which are the better fixtures. I can move him on after that in preparation for a wild card, for example. So I think Savinho is definitely a risky player to go for, but there is the upside there. And I like the look of Savinho. It's just the thing about it is minutes that I'm worried about. So I know some of you guys are thinking about it, and that's why I've kind of put this section here to speak a bit about Savinho. There are risks involved, but the upside is there as well. So for the time being, with the three options that I've mentioned, which is Morgan Rogers, Leon Bailey, and Savinho, I think the most likely one for me to go for is Morgan Rogers, because the 1.5 extra just allows me to open up so much more transfer routes later on for the other positions in my team. But these two players, Leon Bailey and Savinho, are also on my radar. Definitely, there are other players that you guys could consider as well, like Smith Rowe. I'm not considering him because he's already in my team, but Smith Rowe is also a decent replacement for Nkunku, if you guys want to go there. So let me know down in the comments below, if you are in my position, who is your Nkunku replacement? But if not, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like and also subscribe as well. If we have hit 8,000 subscribers by the time you are watching this, I thank you so much for supporting the channel. You guys are the reason why I continue to make videos week in, week out, whether it's late nights or whatsoever. You guys make it worth it. So thank you for supporting the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video coming tomorrow.